In this tutorial, we are going to cover the eBay management feature inside rivalripper.com. If you're not on this page, you can go over here on the left, look for the shopping cart icon, and click on Orders. That'll refresh this page here. And I'm just going to go through all the icons and the little columns here to give you an overview of how everything works on this page. A lot of stuff's fairly intuitive. We do have a lot on the page, so we shrink it down to little icons. Usually you can hover over the icon and it'll kind of give you a little tip of what it means. So this means inbox, checkout status, payment status, etc. all the way across. We can sort by what orders you want to see. This is a test account, doesn't have very many orders on it. So if I do the last 90 days, I've got 2 orders in the last 90 days, or I can show all orders. We have scripts running in the background that check your account for any new orders. They typically run every couple minutes. If you don't want to wait, or if you're expecting an order immediately, you can click refresh here and that'll send a job to the servers to update your orders. As you can see, the last time this was ordered was updated was 3:03, about 20 minutes ago. So I can just click refresh. Usually when you click refresh, this will pop up and it'll send a job to the server to update your orders. By the time you click OK, usually the orders will be updated, but if not, you can always just refresh your page and they should show up. Now it shows 3:24 is the last update, which is right now. So I can click over here to filter my orders. I can see all orders, new orders. I don't have any new orders on this account, but if I did have any new orders, the ones that would show up would be the ones that have 2 red X's right here. This is going to be, has not been shipped yet, so it would be a red X. The red X's look something like this right here. Like this is a red X. So if you haven't shipped the item, you have a red X there, and if you haven't added your tracking, you'll have a red X there. If I click on cancels, the cancels button right here, I can see a list of cancel requests from buyers, or if you canceled the item for some reason, you'll have a big red X there. You can click on the red X and see all the information. This has been closed. This was last refreshed 12/18/2016. These do not automatically refresh, so if you want to see any updated information on it, you can just click refresh, and then there you go, it's updated to today. So if you have any cancels, you'll have a red X here in this column right here. The column right next to that, to the right, is any returns. So if you're handling any returns, you'll have a similar panel that looks like that. I don't think, yeah, this account doesn't have any returns on it, so it'll look similar to the cancels panel. Pops up like this and shows you the data, and you can refresh it. If you need to manage your actual cancels and returns, we don't currently have any tools that do that. So you just click on the link over here. This will take you to your actual eBay listing, and you can approve the cancel or approve the return, and handle that flow. You can filter your orders by returns by clicking that button. No tracking. What no tracking is going to do is going to show you any orders that you haven't added tracking to. So typically this would show just one red X. So for example, if you go in the order here of what happens on eBay is the buyer checked out, so there's a checkbox. Then the buyer paid you, so there's a checkbox. Usually this is done through PayPal. Then the next step is for you to process and ship the order. So that's your job to go in here and click this button when it's a red X. When it's a red X, it'll say, do you want to mark this as shipped? And you hit yes, and then your buyer is notified that the item has been shipped. We've already shipped this item, so it's asking us if we want to mark it unshipped. So let's say you mark it shipped and then there was a problem and you had to reverse that. You can do that. eBay allows you to unmark this, and then that'll turn that to a red X, and it'll actually make that show up in new orders again. If you have tracking, you can add your tracking here. You can add multiple tracking. If you have an international order, for example, if I scroll down here, looking for the globe. So this is an international order. This is an international order. When it's an international order, eBay actually, for a global shipping program, they will actually create a tracking number for you, but you still need to add your local domestic tracking. For example, this was shipped via FedEx, and then it went to Kentucky, where eBay ships it out to the... So it works just the same, it just has a different color. This is a feature that we really needed, and it was difficult on eBay to manage issues that we had on our orders, such as returns, cancels, various things. Maybe the item was broken, maybe anything you can think of that has happened. So we created this note system. So over here on the right, you can just click on these notes, and they pop up, and you can add, whatever, test. And we have 3 status types that you can select. Closed is the default. That one is what every order is going to come in as. But if you have an issue, you can change it to waiting. So like I could change this to waiting and say, waiting for buyer to email me. Just click waiting, and then it'll show up here on the top. So you'll have 1 waiting issue. So you can keep track of your issues that way. If it's urgent, make a note, change it to open, and it'll be an open issue that needs to be taken care of immediately, right? Click add, it'll be red, and you'll have 1 open issue, no waiting issues. And then an additional feature is the scheduled. If you change it to scheduled, let's say wait a week, change it to waiting, and then I'll change the date here. So I'll change it to next week, the 10th. So when I add that note, it says it's going to schedule to reopen on next Wednesday. So if I close that, I'll have 1 scheduled issue, no waiting issues, and no open issues. And then this will automatically reopen and change to open next Wednesday. So it'll go up in my queue, and then I can take care of it. So if we go down here, we have 2 search bars. If you want to search by the ID, this is just 156. If I look at all my orders, I can, 155, whatever. So I can also search for SKU number, item ID, order ID, title, and brand. And I believe it also takes the model number. So if I just start typing, it's going to search immediately. It's like super fast. Like this is going to save you so much time versus doing it on eBay, because finding things on here is just immediately. You don't have to wait for eBay's slow panel to load. So that'll show all my razors. So let's go through the icons here real quick on the top. So this is your inbox. If you have a message from a buyer, it's going to be pink like this. So let's say a buyer bought something from you 6 months ago, and then they bought something from you today. If you see the order come in today, and you'll see that you had a previous conversation with them. So before you process the order, you'll always want to check your messages to see, especially if some buyers won't know how to cancel an order. So you always want to check your messages before you process an order to make sure you aren't shipping out an item that they canceled or wanted to cancel. So we have this right here. Will show you if you have any messages. And then another way to check another message, when a buyer places an order, they can attach a message to the order. So for example, this item right here has a message like that. And so it shows up pink over here on the order ID. If you click on anything in this area, it's going to pop up the same panel. So when I click on this order ID right here, I get this whole panel. If you want to print a packing slip, you can click this and it'll pop open a simplified version of this page, and you can print it out and include it in your package. So if the contact information is available from the buyer, it's going to show up here. Sometimes buyers don't include their phone numbers. Sometimes they don't even include their email. Usually you'll have to go into your eBay account to request that. But in most cases, you can get the email and phone number, and it shows up here on the top right. On this, you're going to have buyer's address. The shipping address and the buyer's address is the same on this order, so you can just ship to this address. On this one, a buyer sent us a message that said, "This is a Christmas gift. Please ship quickly." So there you go. Make sure you process that order really quick for them. I'm looking for another example here. So if I look at, like for example, an international order here with this little orange icon and a globe icon over here to let you know it's international. When I click on that, as you can see, this one didn't have a email address on file, so you'd have to message them through eBay, or if you wanted, you can call them on the phone. So this one has 2 dates not 2 dates, but two addresses. This is the actual buyer's address, but it's in Canada, and we use the global shipping program on this order, so we actually need to ship our item to this address. And so we'll just ship that item to that address, and then eBay will take over and give you an additional tracking number. If a buyer orders more than 1, it's going to say 2 or 3 or 10 or whatever right here. It'll also be highlighted with pink, so it stands out. I don't think I have any multiple orders on this account, but it'll be pink, it'll look just like this. Be a big pink box, and it'll say like 3 or 4. If you click any of these icons right here, it's going to pop up your estimated overview of your costs, fees, eBay final value fee, your payment fee. So these fees can be adjusted on the settings page. I'll cover that in another tutorial. Cost of goods is coming from your listing. So you can edit your listings on the listings page, which we'll cover in another tutorial, to include all your costs so that these are accurate when your orders come in. Discounts will go into in another tutorial. So that's your summary of your profit and your return on investment, which eBay doesn't provide any tools like this. So how do you know you're making any money if you don't have your costs entered in, if you don't have your fees calculated for? I mean, you could be losing a lot of money and not even know. So this gives you a nice panel. The more profit you got, the bigger this little circle is filled in. The progress button, we're going to cover discounts in another tutorial. Discounts only apply mainly for drop shipping, and maybe if you have some free credit cards or something that has discounts on it, that'll get a little more advanced. But for most people, the only thing you're going to have to worry about in this box is the inventory cost, just to make sure that that's correct. Sometimes maybe your order had a different cost than what you had sitting on your listing, so you want to make sure your cost is up to date and you just save it. The source order ID would be if you're drop shipping. You can enter in your order ID for your drop shipper to keep track of it. And the discount percent off we'll cover in another tutorial. And inventory source you can keep track of if you'd like. For example, we have TRU on this item. So we actually got this item from Toys R Us. So our inventory source was Toys R Us. You can just click here. You can add your sources if you want to keep track of them. This is just test count, so I don't have any listed in here, but it would say TRU and whatever else. This takes you to the discounts, which we'll cover in another tutorial. So that does it for this page. I think the only other thing that I missed is if you want to go straight to your listing, just click this little icon right here. It'll pop you up into a new window. Boom, there's your listing. So if you need to manage your cancels and returns, you can just click that link, open up your listing, and track it down. Another big thing that we use a lot, practically daily, is the inbox thing. So if I need to go to the conversation for this buyer right here, I can just click this and it'll take me to the entire messaging conversation. We'll cover this in another tutorial as well. So that's it for this tutorial, and thanks for watching.